Music come on and Peaches start talking in the intro.
Right.
And she talking about that Boone's Farm.
The Boone's. 249 a fifth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that Boone's, man.
That Boone's.
Yeah.
I said, what? We are in the South. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what we did. I think the commonalities that the albums show is what makes hip hop so impactful globally, because they like reporters talking about what's going on in their section, and it's like, damn, we was on some Boones too, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every now and then get that strawberry Boones out, you know what I mean, from Eddie's Liquor.
Yeah.
Not the
Strawberry Hill.
Strawberry Hill.
Yeah. We really was on it. We really was. What's good, y'all? Everybody know what it is by now. KXNG and Crooked podcast, where we break down bars and give it to you live. You know what I mean? Got an esteemed panel, and we go in on what impacted the culture. You know, what we really felt about certain albums, certain jams, things like that. You know, we give flowers, we pay dues, salute those who made waves, as far as in the world of hip hop. And that's just what it is, man. We stay on a nice little natural vibe, and just talk about what it meant to us, and, what it still means to this day. We hip hop aficionados, so that's what you get when you tune in.
Yeah.
Believe that.
Please.
Today,
we're
going down south. We're going to the dirty.
Catfish and grits.
Catfish and grits.
Back in 1994.
1994.
That was 30 years ago. Can you believe it, Crook?
I can't, man. 30 years ago.
Representing 30 years.
Could you believe it, Yak? 30?
Nah. I can't.
3 whole ones?
Nah,
three whole decades?
No.
But this that Southern Playalistic Music by OutKast. Yeah, that was an album that they probably don't even know had an effect on us like it did over here in Cali. It was, they was talking with that Southern slang, but they was talking about them Cadillacs. They was talking about, parlaying and hustling and all that. So, we tuned right in. We always kind of had a dope vibe, though, with the South. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It always been love so much between the West and the South. So we was on that. What cut was you really on off that joint?
Man, I'm still stuck on the fact that album is going to be 30 years old in April.
Yeah.
It's going to be 30 years old. And hip hop wasn't even old enough to drink yet. Hip hop was 20 years old. And for us to sit here and review this certified classic album 30 years later, that lets you know the impact. You know what I'm saying? Of that album. So
especially for us not being from that region and not having a particular aim to give it props or nothing like that. It's just that it was a dope ass album. So
it was so dope, dog.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what's so crazy is when you start off, you start to feel like, okay, I'm in Atlanta now. You know what I'm saying? When the music come on and Peaches start talking in the intro.
Right.
And she talking about that Boone's Farm.
The Boone's. 249 a fifth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that Boone's, man.
That Boone's.
Yeah.
I said, what? We are in the South. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what we did. I think the commonalities that the albums show is what makes hip hop so impactful globally, because they like reporters talking about what's going on in their section, and it's like, damn, we was on some boons too, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every now and then get that strawberry boons out, you know what I mean, from Eddie's Liquor.
Yeah.
Not the
Strawberry Hill.
Strawberry Hill.
Yeah,
Oh,
we really was on it. We really was. That as well as I think when they came with the Southern drawl, and it was like they wasn't trying to compromise who they were to fit into hip hop. It's like, no, y'all gonna get the Southern version of this shit. And man, both of them did their thing. Both of them. It couldn't have been one without the other one.
Complimented each other so tough.
Yeah.
So tough, man.
The vibe was so Atlanta.
If
It
you
was
want
so
a dime,
Man.
I smoke a dime. They started off smoking big on that album.
They did.
They was on. They was
did.
on.
I mean, like, okay, so where were you at when, and you know what I'm saying, what were you doing, where were you at when you first even got turned on to OutKast?
I first got introduced to OutKast on Players Ball. Players Ball, to me, okay, so Players Ball came out on the LaFace Christmas Family Christmas album, the LaFace Family Christmas album in '93. That's when Players Ball dropped. And when I seen them two dudes rapping like that, I was like, oh shit. Because at that time we was young and we was trying to be super competitive with everybody in the game, and some brand new kids on the block came through, and it was just crazy. And I'm gonna just say this. It's a Christmas song.
Players Ball?
Yeah, they're talking about Christmas, the holiday season, all throughout the song. And
I never caught that, Crook.
Yeah.
Things you learn. I ain't never catch that either.
Things you learn. Yeah, I ain't ashamed to say I didn't know something.
Yeah, me neither. So for me, I got that as the number 2 greatest hip hop Christmas rap song of all time. Wow. I got that as number 2. I got y'all at number 3. Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto.
That's heavy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's heavy. With that Isaac Hayes sample.
Santa Claus Go Straight to the Ghetto. Yeah, that's
And
then of course at number 1, I got Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? Christmas in Hollis. I mean, come on, I gotta give it to them.
It take a lot to supplant that. It take a lot to remove that off the. Well,
set the tone though.
Well, okay, let me offer a number 4.
What's that?
Christmas rapping. Curtis Blow.
Curtis
you
Blow.
Leave him out. Now, don't you get me off that job about? Come on, man. Don't play with Curtis.
Was that the song that was that in not Beach Street that they performed? That was that his song in Beach Street they performed? No.
Who song?
The Curtis
Blow one.
I'm not. I don't.
Because Kumo D was rapping too.
You know me in movies.
You know what?
You know me in movies. You
I'm gonna go back and go check that.
Now I gotta go back and
I'm gonna check that. But yeah, Players Ball, that was my first introduction to OutKast, and I just thought that, yo, these dudes are crazy. The beat was crazy. I'm like, who made this beat? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
What was you doing?
Well, yeah.
Well, you know, me and my friends, we were ditching school, and we was trying to go somewhere, you know, cheap real quick, and it was a friend of ours had this boy. He was like a hippie or whatever. So that's all he did. I mean, his parents like hooked up a whole little level above his garage where he could go and smoke. I cannot make this up, dude.
And he was a teenager too.
He's a teenager. This shit was wild, right? So look. Then we get over there and we smoking and stuff, and then his sister comes upstairs like, oh, we're about to go to the Grammys or something like that. I'm like, damn, they going to what kind of shit? You know what I'm saying? This is about, like Grammys. They just like, he was like, oh, I don't want to go.
Shows you the caliber of her friends.
Yeah, so he's
High
like,
caliber.
I'm just going to stay home, right? So then his father came up and gave us the OutKast Southernplayalistic, like gave us this like tape, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, some new music coming out, you know, you guys want to check it out. You know, we didn't know anything about them. I ain't gonna lie. I waited till I got home, and I said, well, let me listen to this. Like, what is this? Southern play. Okay, let me check this out. I was a fan. Like, there was not even, like, the video hadn't dropped. Anything hadn't dropped. Like, this was somebody that just was in the industry, and you know how they give out those
right.
not for sale
Yeah.
sample music. They used to do that, y'all. Like, they used to just give out, like, little samples of music.
Yeah.
If you were an artist about to get a deal, just to get that buzz going on in the industry, so people, to be talking about you, or it kind of gets that buzz going. But we were fans ever since then. Bought the album when it dropped; it was a wrap. Like,
so you bought the album even though you had a copy. That's real music head behavior.
Yes, because it had only that song on there, and then when they had the visual. See, we heard the music, and the music it sold itself, but the visual, the visual took it to a whole nother level. Like, I felt like I was really
which song
in Atlanta.
In particular? Which song in particular?
Southernplayalisticadillacmuzik.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a day. It seemed like it was just a day chilling.
That's
in
how
Atlanta.
they get down,
and
too.
that's how. And I felt like, damn, That's what, and it kind of made you want to go down there. So when they did things like Freakniks and all that, you should see people breaking their neck to get down there. Because they just made it seem like it was just fun, period. Everybody chilling, Southern hospitality.
That's how it was when we went down there and had the So Def doggy style picnic, whatever the little gathering out there. That's what they called it. Rather, I don't do the picnic shit, but it was the day that we got together with them when we went out there. I think Snoop was shooting a video or something, and man, it was like we was at the park for maybe 30 minutes, and then it's just people just start coming from over the hill, around the corner, pulling up in the parking lot, and next thing you know, it just turned into a whole big old shindig in a matter of like an hour and a half. Everybody came through. Yeah. So that's how they get down. Atlanta, I like that Southern hospitality.
Yeah, and to hear, heard an interview with Andre, and they were asking, like, about him, with this album that he just dropped, why no lyrics? Why didn't you? And he said he said something like, what would I talk about? Like right now, what I talk, and and I was like, wow, and I was looking forward to hearing some bars. I didn't even know what the album was. I was just like, oh, I'm getting it,
Right.
So at the end of the day, I'm thinking like, well, I don't think that we would ever have thought that now he would think that what would I have to talk about as lyrically talented he was in that group.
Right.
You know what I mean? Both of them. You know what I mean? Both of them, they OutKast was lyrically like extremely inclined.
Yeah, he was. He was. To me, he was abstract, but street conscious at the same time.
Yep. Great description.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. He was and big boy gonna keep it gully. You know what I mean? He gonna keep it with the pit bulls and the Cadillacs and the Vogues and the just fish and grits and all that. So
I mean,
I dug that Call of the Wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I mean, that's the way the album just rattled the speakers. You know what I mean?
That part.
Yeah.
And the vibe of it. The whole album had an overall vibe like albums did then. You wouldn't just get a lot of disjointed tracks with a lot of various features of whoever was hot at the time. It was like collaborations that made sense.
Yeah,
It was a made sense. And they just got down with their own family, with the Dungeon family. They
they
got down with
about it. They came, they hit a star smooth with the Southern playlist. That's the single. Then when you get the album, he kick it off. A nigga ready from the get-go. I'm like, whoa.
Let's go. Time to turn up.
Entree. I'm like, what? Okay, this is what's going on. I said, oh, yeah. I got to push play on the rest of this because it wasn't like it was night and day. It was just like I didn't expect him to, you know what I mean? Like a nigga ready from the get-go, blow.
Every cut.
Call of the Wild.
Yeah.
Goody Mob enters the chat for the first time on the album. You know what I'm saying?
They did.
And man, that was so crazy. I mean, even Cujo. You know what I'm saying?
Their voices.
Yeah.
That voice.
Yeah.
He got that voice. And then,
Yeah.
you know, hot butter on your biscuits. This is your brain on drugs. Remember that?
Your brain on drugs.
Man, I'm man, these dudes.
Yeah,
and it was a crew thing, man. And like you said, with the sound, man, organized noise. Organized noise. Them boys and what they produced, that sound bed they laid out for them cats to really just ride over is just it's super underrated. You don't hear their name too much when we talk about, you know, the great producers, but the way they produced that album and other things too, but that particular album, since we speaking on this album, the way they sequenced it to where certain song would go off and then the next one would come on perfectly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It was so many details. It was super hip hop. They had the DJ cutting and scratching throughout the album. And that's an element of hip hop that people often ignore these days.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was pure Southern hip hop. Organized Noise murdered it. And Andre and Big Boy was going back and forth on all them joints like a real group does, not some random niggas thrown together and told to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a real group feeling, real group vibe. It was a family vibe. You know, they had the Dungeon family. They had all the different people rapping and making appearances. It was just, like I said, dog, I really felt like, yo, this is Atlanta. This is what Atlanta feels like. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was crazy.
They gave you the whole overlay.
Man.
Yeah, they took us deep. You want to go deep? I take you deep. No, I'm just playing.
That was hard.
That
went on there.
Yeah,
that went on there. It did. I liked it.
Nah, he right the way that they put that together was. I mean, and then they were on the face, right?
Right.
So how many hip hop artists were on the face at the time?
That's a good question because LaFace had Tony Braxton, TLC. Whew.
Yeah.
They was fully loaded. Hey,
They was
listen.
fully loaded, especially on the R&B tip.
Yeah, they sold like 10 million and turned around on one of their albums. They sold 10 million and sold to TLC. Like imagine your label mates go diamond too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. LaFace wasn't playing. That's how by them pairing Organized Noise with them, they knew how they could enhance that Southern sound where it wouldn't sound off or it wouldn't sound like too new and unfamiliar. You know what I mean? Because if you think of the groove of that Call of the Wild, I mean, it's just like you got to just nod to it. You know what I'm saying? It's just some hard, cool shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you though, I got to give CeeLo his props because boy,
what get out. Man.
Boy, that boy kicked that off like nobody's business. Like he was like, yeah, y'all gonna know I come through. You know what I mean?
Hard act to follow.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, that verse right there, it was so vivid.
But he like kicked about like 30, 40 bars, didn't he?
Real. And
he wasn't letting up.
Yeah. All real
Cut
shit
that bullshit out.
that really talk to your spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yes.
you know, a lot of us have been in that position where we got a family member, friend, somebody you with that just doubts your potential. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Man, heck yeah.
And he was like, yo, you know what I mean? I'm trying. He's like, I get high, but I don't get too high. You know what I'm saying? I don't recall ever graduating at all. Sometimes I feel I'm just a disappointment to y'all.
Yeah.
Oh my! I think he got Source Magazine Hip Hop Quotable of the Month for that verse.
He should have.
You know what I'm saying?
Boy, and it was hard to get a quotable up in that. What? It was you down there had to be on the political platform with NY to get up in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
for those who don't know, the Source magazine used to give out. They had this little thing called the Hip Hop Quotable of the Month, and the Source
it'll be at
magazine.
the front of the magazine, I think.
Yeah, the Source magazine was like the hip hop Bible when it dropped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you got this quotable of the month, you was the shit. Period. You did your job above everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That month in their eyes, and a lot of rappers were trying to get that hip hop quotable of the month. Like, that was something that they really wanted, and this CeeLo verse definitely deserved it. It is a certified classic verse, and then when you listen to the hook is certified classic.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my
It is.
God. And for that to be a breakout record, like, you got hits that are radio hits. Now you have TikTok hits, you have SoundCloud, you got YouTube hits, you got all kind of hits now. But back in 94, you would only have radio hits and cultural hits. And the cultural hits were the ones
and club hits.
Yeah, and the cultural hits were the ones that lasted forever. Yeah. Like, you might have a radio hit and that might sell 2-3 million singles, but the casual fans who are not super plugged into the hip hop culture, they gravitated toward that song and made it go. You know what I mean? And then you have songs that the hip hop culture embraced with all their heart. And that's what Get Up, Get Out was, you know what
it
I'm
was.
saying?
Yeah, it was. I still give my money to that song.
Hey!
You know what I mean? yeah. Because you got to get up, get out, and get something. Yeah, no matter what you're doing, sit there and deteriorate. So that was a good message they were spreading too. And it was what impressed me really was that it was Southern hip hop. It wasn't just no rap, about talking about wood grain steering wheels, and not that that's nothing wrong with that, but they were on, like I said, he was abstract, street conscious, and it was like coming from a Southern perspective, you wouldn't expect it.
Right.
You didn't expect that to be coming from him. And then Big Boy wasn't missing the beat, and he was playing with all them syllables and patterns when he spit. So, the compliment of them two people, it let you realize that hip-hop was no longer, could be even thought of as regional. It couldn't be thought of as, a East Coast thing or, gangster rap West Coast thing. And those are really the only two sounds that you could either function off of. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, I appreciated the album immensely. That was, you used to be on your tip off that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you used to be on your tip off that.
Man.
I was fresh out, too, boy. It was, whew. It was going up.
When it came out?
I just maxed off parole like a couple of years before that, like December 92. So, I was still planting my feet. I just met Dog, just met Crooked Eye, you know what I mean? We was recording. We was trying to make our own noise then, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And we did.
And we came through.
Boom, 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 boom.
Let me in this feather.
Town cars on them things, huh?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Coming through. But yeah, I can say we really appreciated that album out here on the West Coast more than they probably even know.
And that's the reason we do this. Show our appreciation, man. And I think it's very important for hip hop to understand that we had, we liked a lot of things that were outside of the West Coast, you know what I mean? And loved a lot of projects that were outside the West Coast.
True.
But I don't hear a lot of West Coast people or artists speaking on, what we're speaking on right now today. So I'm always 10 toes in to talk about hip hop and to talk about, give flowers where they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because it's a lot do that didn't really advance as far as, you would have expected them to. It's a few acts and a few cuts that came through that you'd have thought this artist probably was gonna kill stuff for a while.
Right.
And then, he faded into oblivion,
Right.
2-3 years later, or just, a couple of songs later, the next project didn't do so much. And yeah, the record labels was raw in. Yeah, if you wasn't delivering.
Yo, bro.
See, I'm not gonna lie, that's why I really love not just social media, but the internet now and the advantages that artists. You can't really be stopped. You know what I mean?
If your shit is good.
And then when you've built that fan base and you got fans that actually, taken to you, they're still with you no matter where you go.
You have to supply them with what they want. You still
just have to supply them what they want. You know what I mean? But other than that, they still can have access to you, as opposed to back then.
A record label give you the boot. It's over.
It's over.
They can't even find you no more. Ain't nobody got your address or your phone number.
There's no. Oh, here goes your. Come here. We gonna
come
put
back,
you
Lassie.
videos.
Come back. We need you.
Yeah, not only that, people probably don't even know. Like, it was hard to even get studios and book studios.
So let's talk about that. So let's talk about that era for a minute. This came out in '94.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The landscape of the industry was very tough. It was a rough road, you know what I'm saying? And getting a record deal was like winning a championship because it was hard. You know what I'm saying? And
it was.
Like you said, like back then, you could sell 90,000 records your first week and they call that a flop. That's how crazy it was back then.
Yeah.
People was like, oh, you didn't go gold in the first week. Like, people was really looking
that was
at,
that era. That was that era
Yeah.
when the heavy hitters was
clocking.
Clocking. Yeah.
Because 94 is one of the craziest years in hip hop, period. I want everybody listening to this and watching this to go on Google and just Google rap singles 1994.
Oh,
you gonna see some. You gonna be like,
it's about 50 of them.
Yeah, it's like, man, like, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Crazy joints too. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Crazy joints. So it was a tough landscape, and to get a deal was one thing, but then after you get the deal to become successful and impact the culture, that took an immense amount of teamwork.
Thank you for saying that, because that's what I was going to interject.
Yeah.
Immense amount of teamwork.
Yeah. Because you got to think, nobody knows who you are. You've gotten a deal and you've gotten attention based off just talent.
Right.
That's it. Just your talent. Now we have to see if the world will love and see what they saw in you. Now that's a whole nother beast. You gotta, you know what I'm saying?
The label has to convince the world.
To the world. You know what I mean? So that took a lot. I mean, it's not like there was no real like audition process. It was a real, you have to know people. Relationships was a serious thing.
Serious.
So serious. You wouldn't get past certain doors without knowing somebody.
You had to know somebody to even get quality production, unless your label had those relationships, and then your label A&R really had to have that relationship with the producer, or have access to reach out to the particular producer that you wanted to work with. Because I remember when I got my first deal, and my official deal, I was messing with Snoop a few years before that, but we didn't sign no paperwork for Doggy Style. I don't think we didn't sign no paperwork to the Eastsiders. But when I got my deal with Sony in 1997, I was going to do an album called This Is the Life I Lead. I had Dad Superfly producing for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you was going to be featured prominently on there.
Hey.
I hope that,
Young Crook.
You was just coming in, Yak, and you was in the fringes of the game. You know what I mean? Sticking your nose in the dough. You know what I mean? Looking to see what was in there.
What y'all doing here?
A noted producer came through and had a meeting. My A&R name was Steve Prudhomme. And he said, Tray Deee, like a few of these tracks you sent. He's like, 30,000.
Off rip.
Off rip.
30 grand for each one. This wasn't for the few. This was for
for each.
This was per. Look, 30 per.
30 per.
And I knew this producer to a degree, didn't really know him well, but I looked at him like, bro, I got a $350,000 budget.
Yeah.
I
want 10% per track.
Bro, I can't. That's not gonna happen. But he was like, I gotta feed my family. And that's how they were eating in those days.
Man,
right.
Eating,
so I couldn't be mad. We didn't have a relationship that deep to where he could give me a discount or something like that. And he just came to the meeting like, oh, you want some tracks? Okay, yeah, this is what it is.
Because he was looking at Sony, not so much looking at you.
Right.
I was looking at
and
the
we
budget.
wound up.
They didn't move without a budget.
We wound up a few years later, actually, doing a dope album where he did like the majority of the production on the album, and we sold platinum.
Boom.
So I didn't get bitter, I ain't never fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? You gonna try to stick a motherfucker up like that? It's business. It's business, and I had to respect and understand that it was business. And I did that, and like I say, a few years later, we got to work together, and we made some phenomenal music.
And that's how it starts. But you just said $350,000 on the budget, and what a lot of people don't know, in this current generation is every time we got a record budget, we basically bought a studio without buying a studio.
Facts.
We spent enough money booking time to purchase the whole studio. You know what I mean?
True, and didn't even know.
And didn't know it.
Well, the equipment probably was a little bit more expensive before they technology, shrunk everything. But remember, because we were recording on reels then.
We was recording on reels, so you might not have bought the SSL, but if you spent $300 on the album, if you spent $300, that's a nice setup we could have bought.
Very nice setup.
Instead, we was sending people to go get steaks and all that while we in there.
Yeah. Call the weed pool. Man. Leave a half a pound on the table.
Time
we got
money.
you.
Time is money. Yeah,
so it's kind of dope how you could just be in your bedroom now with a laptop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you can make your whole album like that now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's technology really caught up.
This hour of D-Yak and Crook was brought to you by Lil Belize Restaurant at 217 East Nutwood Street in Inglewood, California. Make sure y'all check it out for the best eats in town.
For a taste of Caribbean cuisine, visit Little Belize Restaurant located at 217 Nutwood Street in Inglewood, California. Enjoy appetizers, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Serve our delicious food at your next party or event. Our catering menu is perfect for weddings, picnic, holiday parties, or company banquets. Give us a call at 310-674-0696.
But over the years, man, let's talking back about this certified classic Southern Playalistic. Over the years, that Claiming True has become one of my favorite joints on there, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That Claiming True, the hook, the jewels, they was dropping gems, and like you said, bro, street conscious.
Yeah.
That is a street conscious album.
It is, bro.
They dropping gems in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That can definitely propel you through and help you navigate through the streets that we talk about, where it's cracking at where you can lose yours with one wrong move.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
At Magic City, shake your titties because the rent's due.
Yeah.
Lord, trying to hustle must be something that is heaven sent. He was like, they was just going off on there, man, in that hook. I wonder what you do if you was in my shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like, man, bro.
They was the whole shit. Like, you used to throw that on and just do your thing. You especially had, some sounds in your shit. You know what I mean? You
You
hit
hit that corner. Let me take you on a funky ride. On a funky ride. You think you can sing in your whip? You know what I'm saying?
What?
Hey, dog.
Feeling sleepy, brownish. You know what I mean? No.
For real. They was on their Boosie Collins too.
They were.
On that one. That was so silky smooth.
They were.
I'm like,
That's
yo.
what I'm saying. That it was the same vibe, but it wasn't the same tempo.
Southern.
It wasn't the same tempo all the way through.
Right.
But it was the same. It was Southern playalistic CadillaCmuzik. That's just what they stuck to that script. Did nothing. You didn't hear this hype ass song come on in the middle of some shit. You like, where this come from?
Where this come from?
You know what I mean? It was like it was a journey, like all good albums.
A Southern journey.
Yeah.
It was.
Like all good albums will take you on.
And I think it really hit us because being from the West Coast, we will absolutely loop samples all day. We'll do that all day. But we also are from that cloth of having studio sessions with live musicians.
True.
Yeah.
We in the studio with people that can play the keyboards, people that can play guitars. You know what I'm saying?
That can play it well.
Well.
Yeah.
So when you hear that organized noise, Dungeon Family sound, I think it resonates with us because you hearing these bass lines, you know what I mean?
Big,
you hearing these
nasty,
chords on top, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, I could fuck with that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, that's real.
And I liked it because it wasn't so polished to where it sounded like an industry project where you need to make a song about graduating from school, and you need to have a song in there about taking care of your community and all this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. And the tracks match the attitude.
Absolutely.
That's very, very important when you're making music.
Yes.
Just as a tip. Before I even go in on whatever song I'm doing, I gotta feel what it makes me feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to see what it's doing to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Before I either go sinister or I go, enlightening or I go, storytelling or whatever.
I gotta see what type of emotion it sparks when I listen to it. Like what mental vision it gives me, then I could try to put it in words.
Yeah, because you have to marry.
Exactly. I have to marry my thoughts to
exactly.
And this is why I always tell young artists, I know sometimes for a young artist it's hard to get beats. Believe it or not, even though they going on YouTube and BeatStars now, some of them don't even have the money for that. But a lot of artists ask me, yo, should I write the song and then try to get the beats? No. Get the beat first.
Great advice.
Let the beat talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of young artists who they write a gang of songs, but they don't write them to beats. And then they try to go through their notebook or go through their phone and see which one that fits on this and that.
And it doesn't always merge.
The only time you do that is if you have an in-house producer with you. If you got a boy, or maybe
you can build it around kind of vibe
he can build it around, because ain't nothing but a BPM. True. Once you have a certain BPM of the actual, you know what I'm saying, the rhythm of the verse, he could build it around you, but that got to be somebody that you rock with.
And you should at least, I believe you should at least have a reference that you're writing to of the kind of tempo or the kind of mood that you want while you're writing the verse, as opposed to just writing it out of thin air, just saying whatever you.
Sugar Free banging on it's the beat you come up with in your mind that
I do them beats. I feel the shit out them beats.
You have to come up with a rhythm to rap to from Jump Street, regardless. You know what I'm saying? In your head, even if you wrote without a actual beat, something had to spark you. I mean, you know.
But I'm saying it's better if you let the producer know that. Oh, when I wrote this, I was thinking about. If I Rule the World by Noize, you know what I'm saying? So he like, okay, I got you. So I'm gonna create something in the vein of that from my from my.
And he got to be a good producer.
Yeah.
He got to be a good producer because the drums kind of dictate, the flow sometimes. Mm-hmm. So if even, you might have the same tempo, but if the drums is doing something totally different, and that's the reason why when we drop, all of us have been in this position where we have dropped songs or freestyles, and then some up-and-coming producer remixes it because he want to hear what Tray Deee and Yak sound like on his beats.
True.
And then sometime it don't come out sounding good because he didn't pay attention to the first beat that y'all rapped on. And he changed the drum patterns. He did all this other stuff. You didn't come in on the one, but he got your verse coming in on the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had this conversation with a very close friend of ours, man, and we were going back and forth because we talk hip hop real heavy. And I was just telling him that I said, man, when you do that, when you write something to a beat, you hit certain pockets.
Yes.
Once you change the beat, the pockets aren't hitting
Pockets
the same.
don't make sense.
They
make
don't.
sense.
It's not hitting the same. And he couldn't understand. Then when I said it again, I said, like, seriously, like, think about it. You know what I'm saying? You already, it's certain drops you gonna come in, you not gonna come in, you know what I'm saying? Because the beat is giving you that.
Yeah.
Once you change what you already like
the raw beat will give you that even before it get mixed down. And a great engineer or a great producer will know exactly when the breaks come.
It's like
in
you
what
swung
you
in a
talking
side
about.
piece without even letting niggas know. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, I didn't make that marriage. That marriage didn't work out. That's not a good relationship. Yeah. So it's not gonna hit like I wanted to hit when I first created it, how I heard it.
And I'm not gonna repost it.
Yeah.
You gonna think I'm tripping because I didn't repost your remix, but you didn't even listen to the raps. You just built what you thought was the best beat around the raps and not understanding that we not just talking on these tracks. You know what I'm saying? This is a rhythmic process. And we got pockets and all that. So that's just something, you young artists out there, young producers, I don't care. Ageism ain't even in it because I know some people who just started rapping 835 and I hope that they make it and blow up just as much as anybody else. But just always remember, you know what I mean? If you want to even approach an album like Southern Playalistic, you need to understand that they was in there with the Dungeon Family and Organized Noize, and they was really creating from the ground up. You can hear it. Some of that stuff had to come from scratch because you could feel it.
Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying?
They created a sound.
Right.
They created their sound, and that was something that was real heavy at that time too. Each camp had a sound, like. You know what I mean? OutKast, what's crazy? OutKast, you got the Dungeon Family because they all kind of like the same. But the Goody Mob, the Goody Mob's music was slightly different than OutKast.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So slightly different, but they had a sound cohesively together. Does that make any sense?
They did.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? They still had a sound. You know what I mean? So... You right about that. They were in there creating, and they created a sound. So that was totally different. That was
a beautiful era of hip hop that I'm glad I was able to live through and experience the actual engagement inside of the recording studio, to where you in there with, Crooked Eye, and you in there with Snoop Dogg, and you in there with Sugar Free, and you in there with Cocaine, and you in there with, you know what I'm saying, the Doggy's Angels. And it's like, ooh, I got to show my ass right now. Ooh, this 16, I got to make sure this 16 is, because you sitting up there waiting to be included in the cut. Because
talent was all you kind of had.
That made your pen a whole lot more lethal, because you knew if you didn't show up at that time, you might not have got another chance to show up.
Look, I remember first ever coming to a 19th Street session.
Hey.
Right? Hearing y'all, right?
Shout out old ass C-Style.
Okay, all right.
Old ass Big C-Style.
All righty.
All right. So
Big
look,
Stizzle.
so look, I I remember coming to a session, and I'm thinking, you think you've heard all of, oh man, I've heard the dopest and stuff. So it was real good to hear like new artists that had their foot on people's neck. Like I got to hear more of you, on certain things. Like, damn, he, you know what I'm saying? Because he only got, these are the only ones that I'm hearing that they're putting out there on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So when you got to hear unreleased stuff, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to step it up. Then I heard Crooked I was like, is that right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's what we doing.
Yeah. And he was making songs the same time as me.
Hey, I was like, ain't this a bitch? When you thought that it was just coming, it was just like, it was a domino effect. It was like
Badass,
machine gun.
rest
It
in
was,
peace.
oh man, it was just like, I said, I'm gonna have to step up. Listening to y'all, I wrote verses every day. I wrote verses every day.
That's how you got heavy with the
So,
pen.
exactly. So
Heavyweight.
I came to one of Crooked Eye sessions, and he said he was recording a song called Three's Company.
Yes.
And he said, you got something for this? I said, I got a gang of something for this. I've been waiting for this. I got so many bars. I'm remembering lines in my head right now. And I don't even think I had my notebook with me. I just was ready. Like, oh, man.
You had to be ready. That's what I was talking about right there.
What people fail to realize, when you did not show up lyrically on that mic, when you walked out of that booth, your verse got erased in front of everybody's face.
Yeah.
There was no
why don't you go in there and go in there and do that.
There was no empathy. There was no, let me show you some love on this, because for one, don't have a producer there because that's their beat. They want everybody to show their ass.
Right, right. Producers will really get mad if you don't give your all on
They
that
was the
shit.
ones saying, nah. Next, you got something? Okay, go in there. And you got like 15 people in there trying to rap.
And
Underground classic.
And everybody couldn't go right in there and pull that off. Everybody wasn't capable. So there are a couple of well-known artists that spit their ass off, that burn the booth down, but they're not writing on the spot. They're going to take that beat, they're going to leave, whether the verses are on it, whoever else got on there or not, they're going to take that beat, they're going to go home, and they're going to marinate for a day or two on it, and they're going to write gradually until they finish it, and when they come back to lay it, it's going to be pristine. Everybody wasn't capable of laying on the spot.
Everybody wasn't.
Nah.
And
they didn't even, and some wouldn't even try. They'd be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not, that's not me. That's not how I get down. I need, Look, I book studio session and lay it, and I get it back at y'all because boy, that was the pressure cooker.
What?
Hey yo,
but I was in there alone, lightweight. I was like, I gotta go in here.
But they say that luck is where opportunity meets preparation, though, right? So the opportunity is there, and you prepared.
Right.
You created your own luck.
Man, it was motivation.
Yeah, because ain't no such
some
thing as
people
luck.
probably it was motivation to hear. Was the hearing the songs that were being created. It was seeing how they were being created. It was just everything. It was really a learning process. A lot of people think, I want to rap because that's all I want to rap. I see a video and I want to rap. I'm a kid. That's just what it was. But when you actually see the process of it, it was a real good learning experience. And timing is everything. So it just wasn't that time for me at the time. So when the time came, it came right.
Yeah. And that's further props to how they set up and went in with organized Noize and created such a stellar project. It was a vibe, it was a feel, and everybody that came in there, they had to get on that accord. When we was recording our albums that sold well, it was like when you came in, you was in the East Sider session. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you was on what we was on, or you wasn't gonna get on. And you had to really be on what we was on.
Right.
It was such a perfect marriage, not to cut you off. All those guys are still cool and tight till this day.
Right.
Organized Noise,
Goody Mob,
OutKast. Yeah.
The vibe.
They was teenagers
energy.
doing that.
No, I'm saying
And
they
they
still got the
still down.
same energy, and they still down. I seen them do some recent stuff, and
I
I'm like,
did too.
they still got the same energy. Real good people.
Shout out Big
Shout
Gift.
out
I was about to say, shout out to my boy, Big
Cool
Gift.
Joe.
And Cool Joe.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, no
CeeLo,
doubt.
like, I
Salute
mean,
CeeLo.
come on,
CeeLo
you
go,
know.
man. CeeLo go.
Yeah,
Sleepy
man.
Brown, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up working with CeeLo too on a Slaughterhouse single called My Life.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he
that was
came
one
in
of my
there and
joints.
really killed it. This is my motherfucking life, my life. And it's like,
Yeah.
woo, we thought we was out of here with that one.
Y'all
Yeah.
did that. Y'all
Slaughterhouse
did that.
album was dope as a
Slaughterhouse album was dope.
Hey,
it was.
but speaking of the spirit of competition and not wanting to get, you know what I'm saying, booted off the song, I feel like OutKast, Dungeon Family, and everybody who played a role in Southernplayalistic knew the climate. They knew, yo, it's some heat out there.
Right.
And it's some heat coming. So we got to make sure that we, you know, put our foot in it. So let's look real quick. I had to pull this up because this is stupid.
Okay, all right.
All right, 94. Nas drop a single, New York State of Mind.
That's my shit right there.
Come on.
Common drop, I Used to Love Her. Yikes.
Yeah, that was the touchy one.
one.
And I
touchy
play
one.
I play that. I play No Vaseline. I play
yeah,
dollars
for
and
sure.
cents. I play dollars and cents.
All of that.
Yeah, I play all that.
Yeah, Death Wish.
What was
Yeah.
Biggie dropped Juicy.
Oh,
It was all a dream.
come on.
Biggie dropped Gangstar dropped Mass Appeal.
Wow.
No way you'll never make it. Come with the weak shit, I break, kid. Step into my zone, mad rhymes will stifle you. Rhymes like rifles go blast when I kick some ass. A lot of rappers be like one-time wonders. Couldn't say a fly rhyme if it was one right under their noses. I hate those motherfucking poses, but I'm so real to them it's scary. Yeah,
Yo, listen. Is that when Warren G dropped Regulate?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And if you know like I know,
know
Nate
all the
Dogg,
steps
rest
to
in
this.
peace.
Nate Dogg,
he,
rest in
yeah,
peace.
Nate
My
Dogg
goodness.
was the enforcer on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the all-time classic underground joints that did very well culturally. Go ahead.
I need to interject this for the purists and those claiming who is and who aren't, who's not hip hop and all this shit. Warren G was the only artist to go platinum on Def Jam the year Regulator dropped. On Def Jam, a
Absolutely.
New York record label.
Yep.
He was the only artist to sell platinum.
Let me tell you.
Resume
about Warren
normal
G's
program.
years. Go ahead.
Yo, I mean, it's already on record that, you know, Warren was very instrumental in this process of saving Def Jam Records.
Yeah, kept it afloat.
Kept it afloat. That's been said.
Shout out to L, all them, you know, everybody that was
doing
over
their
there.
thing, but Warren slid through.
Yeah, shout out to everybody over there. We ain't trying to belittle nobody or talk down on the label, nothing.
Nothing like
I
that.
just wanted to note that because it's a lot of people that try to discount or overlook our contribution to the overall the overall magnificence of the culture.
Absolutely.
And you can't do that.
You cannot.
Yeah.
Let me see what else was out. OC Time's Up. That was a joint. Keith Murray, The Most Beautifulest Thing in the World.
You mythological niggas is comical. You mythological niggas is comical.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
listen.
God.
Scarface. Never seen a man cry. Come
Till
on.
I seen a
listen,
man
man.
die.
If you got to be outside when all these joints are out,
We gonna revisit that conversation.
That's so
We
real.
revisiting that.
That's so real. To shoulder your way next to
To that,
yeah,
my gosh, that's
yeah.
a whole lot.
You had to be making some real
That's
noise.
a whole lot. Now let me
and
tell
that's
you,
only half.
they ain't have
Yeah,
no.
a small
and
portion.
Every album did just as good or even better than the last album. Them dudes, OutKast, have no like
parameters. It's just
Nah,
nothing.
they don't have any mid projects.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
Nah, that's
That's like in the history. Like we talking about, in my eyes, to me, that was kind of making history in hip hop, because how many artists that you know drop album after album after album and none of them are mid? They all like.
It must be that.
Successful,
That must be that
doing big
Aquemini
numbers.
chemistry, because they
Aquemini.
People try to,
Yeah.
what is this, hey ya, and all this old stuff. You know how big that was?
Yeah, I do.
Like it just,
Yeah, I do.
He's wearing
Bombs
a wig.
over Baghdad.
He's on
and
the,
all-
oh man,
yeah.
look at here.
No, he played
I
him for.
remember-
He
I
played it
remember
for
them.
what it was worth. He played.
Yeah.
He played it for what it was worth.
Some of those people who don't understand that need to go and look at this OutKast documentary. I forget the name of it, but it's on YouTube. You can just search the OutKast documentary. And it talks about Andre as a youngin' really being into music of all genres. You know what I'm saying? And when
sound
you
about Gemini,
and when
you know
you
what I'm saying?
so
Yeah,
when you an
you know what I
MC and you into music of all genres, there's no telling where your creativity is gonna go. You can't put it in a box. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they did their thing. And on this particular album, a debut album, to kick in the door like this
Ridiculous.
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And to have so much crew love.
You couldn't overlook it.
Yo, dog, they had crew love, bro. Like, it was, I recently found out, because I was listening to the album and I was like, man, they had this interlude called Flim Flam. And dude is trying to, he trying to sell a fake gold chain to somebody. He like, yeah, give me $80 for this fake, for this 18 karat gold. I got it from the white folks in Buckhead,
Yeah.
And all while he's talking and trying to do this little negotiation, there's a song playing in the background. And I always wanted to know, man, what is that song? So I went down a rabbit hole and I found out that the song is from a group out of Atlanta called Parental Advisory. Mm-hmm. And the song is called Ghetto Headhunter. So I went down their rabbit hole and found out that they was attached to the movement, Dungeon Family. Mm-hmm. So at all times on this album, it was crew love.
And they was promoting they clique, promoting they
That's that
sound.
Southern
Like you said,
hospitality.
everybody had their own sound then. And that was very, very important to hip hop, because it was, it was a proliferation of artists just constantly coming in. You was like, damn, what new could you really come with? What, and it was like, you had to really be stellar and stand out at that time, because, like we was talking about, man, it was about recognition and record sales. And if you wasn't in nobody's mouth, as far as your name and, how you was getting it and doing it, nobody really wasn't checking for you.
Nobody
really wasn't checking.
You know what makes that, like each classic album, for me, each classic rap album has a moment that makes me say, okay, this shit is classic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be jamming all the way through and be like, damn, this album is jamming. And then something will happen that'll make me say, this is a classic album.
Classic.
Right.
And when I was listening to, the OutKast album, the first time I heard it, I knew it was going to be a classic when Big Rube came onto the scene. And Big Rube started doing that little spoken word, that artsy ghetto-ass spoken word that that his little message.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, y'all got rapping, scratching, singing, live music, and y'all got the nerve to bring a nigga in here on some spoken word?
I know.
This shit is classic.
They was covering all the bases.
Man.
Yeah.
Shouts to Big Rube,
In
man.
a southern way.
Man.
Right.
They was covering all bases. We was all relatable, crumbling herb.
That's what I'm saying. Then they dropped Crumbling Herb after Big
Crumbling
Rube
Herb.
step off the mic. Crumbling Herb, come on.
Man, that was
It's like, all right, man.
niggas killing
I'm out. That'll do it.
They don't understand.
I'm just
Just
coming. Hey, that hook.
Yeah. And that little guitar, the little plucky, yeah.
It made you want to get high to it. But I'm just saying.
That's your
made you wanna
take on
smoke
it,
something. Yeah, it made you want to smoke weed, you know.
Hey.
Yeah, crumbling nerve.
yeah,
That was the way to send it out, though. That was the way.
Yeah.
That was the way to shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Like they relax, go smoke you something, and digest what you just heard, and then push repeat.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Period.
Yeah, they own time in the motherfucker's deck.
Wasn't the box
in your
out
system.
at that time?
The box, a video box?
Yeah, when you
94,
was able to
request videos.
Request videos.
Hell yeah.
But they were going up.
Yeah, we had us a video.
One of the ones going up.
We had us a video on the box, man.
Oh
Shit.
man, that's big.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We was online. Jumped out the Cadillac in some house shoes online.
We didn't get to make the box.
You know what I'm saying?
We didn't get to make the box, man.
We was
Came in
requesting.
too late,
So
man.
for y'all that don't know about the video, the box, that was a video, music video, you know, channel program where you could call in and request. You could request what video you wanted to see.
Did they have anything besides rap on the box?
It was in your region.
It was in your region.
It was in
yeah,
your
it was
region,
regional.
so it was regional, so
Yeah.
you get to just go ham on, you know, your favorite artists and stuff like that. Even though we did get Southern artists and stuff like that, because I ain't gonna lie, they was playing Nelly, Down Down Baby, crazy on the box.
Yeah.
And we in Cali, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? And they
right.
was going, I was like, oh, this is about to go. This is
Yeah, we just had people call. We had people requesting our video, just, you know, the homies.
That's real. That's
Yeah.
real.
Just
That's
keep
real.
it going. Everybody keep requesting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
But
real.
yeah, that era, to survive in that era was something special. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why when we go down the history of hip hop, if you know, was too young to be outside, we trying to provide that feeling for you, so you know how it felt, and you know what it was when it came out. You know what I'm saying?
And if you weren't even here on the earth, you know, we trying to paint the picture of, you know what I'm saying, like, because they call the 90s the golden era of hip hop.
right.
And I don't disagree with them. Not taking nothing from, you know, Kool Herc and, you know, all the ones that was back in
called
the
that the
70s
golden
and all
era?
that. They
Yeah,
call
the
the
90s.
90s.
I mean, Kool Herc.
No,
era,
I'm
the
saying,
golden era?
I'm saying not taking none of from Grandmaster Caz and all the, you know, pioneers and originators from back, you know, in the days in the 70s. Not taking nothing from Run DMC and Curtis Blow and the Fat Boys and all those who came in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? But the 90s are referred to as the golden era because I guess the talent level had reached a peak that it was like, who's going to come with something next? Prime example, you know, the most beautifulest thing in the world, we kind of see that as someone trying to be on the platform, on the plateau rather of a corrupt, you know what I'm saying, or a crooked eye, you know, using major vocabulary as well as telling stories and using metaphors and similes in hip hop while you going in, you know, with patterns and styles and all this. So it wasn't funny to hear him spitting like that, but it was kind of like it was obvious that he was mimicking to a degree corrupt style. Peace to Keith Murray.
He was. Hey.
Look,
hey,
you know.
Heavy, man. We gonna tell the truth on this motherfucker too. So hey, you know, hopefully nobody take offense because
mythological
Lyrical miracle.
Hey, man.
Oh, no.
right.
Hey,
but
that's.
mean,
I mean,
yeah.
that's
thank
another
y'all,
thing.
OutKast. Thank y'all, Big Boy. Thank y'all,
But you know
Andre
what, though?
3000.
For
giving us Southernplayalisticadillacmuzik, man. That's a classic that we all had in our system banged it, loved it, still love it, still fuck with it to this day. Like I say, I work out sometime to get up, get out, and get something. I might have that on repeat 3-4 times to start my shit off. So it was stellar and epic. What you
I was gonna say, you mentioned something very important too. Styles. These dudes were flipping all types of different styles on this album. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that to go unnoticed. Like they were flipping different styles, like Hootie Who.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Boys on my left, Andre's on my right. Tight like always.
Big Boy come in flexing just on the guitar, on the bass, and then the beat start building around him, and then he switched styles, and then the drums kick in, and Andre start. It's like, dog, what am I listening to right now?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
you listening to the highest level of creativity coming out of the South, the West, or the East at that time. It demanded notice. It demanded notice. I ain't saying it was better than nothing anywhere else, but it made its own impression. You know what I mean? Like, these Southern niggas ain't playing.
A nigga said draws falling like niggas in a drive-by.
Hey, that Big Boy?
That was Andre.
Oh, okay.
He said something about, I'll check you later. Now, later on, done got here.
Yeah.
Man, they was both getting loose on Hootie.
They were. If you are not up, you really need to go check that album out. That was like the introduction to them. And then you can see how they went from and grew. You know what I mean? Yeah,
they definitely made you want to know, what are they going to drop next?
Definitely.
And they didn't disappoint, like she said, with every successive project.
There's no artist that has done that. Go back and look.
I don't know,
every album that they've dropped, like the second album and in every album that they dropped, who's done that?
Man, listen, I would have to really
go
into my bag to find out.
To be done.
But I will say,
because if you made more than two albums, you talking about four or five albums.
I'm talking about every album that they've dropped together. Yeah. Everybody kind of went their way.
How many is that?
Well, hold on. I have one.
Hold on.
I have one. Hold on. I have one.
Okay.
I have one that dropped albums like that. EPMD's business series.
Yeah, the business series was the business.
What?
Yeah.
Da-dum. Time keep on slipping.
From strictly business.
Let's see. We talking about U.S. charting.
You on
every
chart?
Come on now, yeah.
Okay.
Every album.
Okay, yeah, you talking about?
Yeah, Southernplayalistics. That was 20. Everything else was number 2. ATLians, Aquemini, Stank on You. You better stop playing. Speaker Box below. That was number 1. Idlewild number 2.
Yeah, that was their dual album.
Nobody has done that. Go back and think about it.
Nobody ain't did it like that.
I love a gang of artists.
Nobody did it like that.
No disrespect to you, none. But I haven't seen a track record that consistent.
Are you talking about by duos? Or are you talking about by just rappers, period?
Just by rappers.
Because if you go by just rappers,
albums,
I think
period.
if you say
done
rappers,
a consistent every album chart like that, bro. Seriously.
I think you gotta look at what Drake has done. If we're looking at numbers, if we're just looking at numbers,
up to date.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Drake is definitely in that.
Drake
is definitely in that conversation.
He is.
Yeah,
he's in that conversation.
Lil Wayne might be in that conversation.
Drake is in the conversation.
Yeah.
And Drake is in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
And it's a lot of people
right
who got.
Drake is in the conversation.
There's a lot of people who did good numbers on every release. Because my homie Marshall Mathers did numbers every single time.
Yeah, he did.
He did. I think
Jigga did numbers too on every release.
A lot of them.
Like how many albums did Eminem?
I think Jigga did the same thing.
Jigga has a lot of consecutive.
He has a lot of consecutive, but it was like,
but I think Reasonable Doubt wasn't. It didn't hit as big as it could have. You know what I'm saying? Until later,
it hit in the streets though.
Yeah, like and then it came back and it picked up after he. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
He did his thing, but Yeah, I mean, you know, they sit on that Mount Olympus of, when we just talking pure sales, they sit on that Mount Olympus and they in good company with artists who have been, you know, blessed to dominate the charts throughout their career. You know what I'm saying? And and a lot of people on social media, they have the conversation, is OutKast the greatest duo in hip hop history? That conversation comes out a lot.
It does.
And
you know,
if somebody says that, I'm never mad.
Nah.
You feel me? Like if they say, yo, listen.
It has validity to it. It got legs to stand on.
Legs to stand. Now people could disagree all you want to, but whoever you talking about, they in the conversation. Facts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're going with stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going with facts and stats.
Just confirm. Just confirm.
Yeah.
He's definitely in that conversation.
You know Crook, Crook wasn't gonna put that out there.
Drake is definitely in that conversation of those classics on consistent classics. And OutKast, I think, set the tone, and they are definitely, as far as duo, they're definitely like number one on the consistent.
Now, me personally, I take numbers with a grain of salt when I think about hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I take numbers with a grain of salt because there's a lot of garbage that sells too. But this is an instance where great music is putting up numbers, and I feel like that's why I'm definitely with contributing to the conversation, because people know me. They know I'll be like, man, the numbers. When I talk hip hop, I like to talk about the sound. I like to talk about the art of it, the lyricism, the way it was put together, the details and the sequencing and the mixing and the mastering, and all. I like to talk about all the musical things,
the technical aspects.
You know what I'm saying? But the fact that OutKast was able to have that great of an impact on the charts and have that great of an impact with the sales and have that global reach and create fantastic, great music, that's a rarity. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people ain't making music as high quality as OutKast and doing those numbers. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes is doing numbers with certified bangers. You know what I mean? And that's a hats off and a big salute to, you know what I mean, OutKast for that. And you know, I'm feeling like Andre at the Source Awards when he said the South got something to say. I feel like that was a pivotal moment in hip hop because people was playing in the South face.
They were.
They was playing with the South.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. You know what I mean?
They're playing in our face.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So when he got up there on that energy, like, yo, the South got something to say, I felt that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we shouldn't have to try to elbow our way into no conversations as a city, a region, a state. You know what I mean? It's all hip hop across the board.
Yeah.
True. If it's dope, it's dope.
And if it's whack, it's whack. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
You know
Period.
Yeah. Factuals.
And we
shout out to the dopest.
Outro on that one.
Shout out to the dopest duo. I get that to him. And you know,
one of the dopest
I'm in a
duos
duo
in
/ trio myself.
Yeah.
But
so there's a lot coming from you.
I look. Man, you can't
take
it away from them.
You
can't take it away from them. You know, shoulder to shoulder, they both carried their own weight, and you know they didn't miss a beat. They elevated. They hit the ground running and elevated all the way through their career. So it's an honor for us to sit up here and give them they due. You know what I'm saying, and review such a dope project. You know.
Shout out Big Boy, Andre. If you just want to play the flute, keep playing the flute, homie.
Make sure y'all go get that album, though, because
I got it.
He run into a lot of fans when he's playing this flute, and they be feeling it to give it a real relaxing vibe.
I'm telling you, I smoked a couple good Cuban cigars to that album. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's dope.
That album is really dope. It takes your mind on a trip. And
the flute is a bad instrument, man. Flute, you know, I think that's what the Pied Piper had when he led everybody to their ruin. You know what I mean?
Deep. You want to go deep? I take it deep. You know you fucked up when you live in my creek. Deeper than the page of the book.
What's up, OutKast? We love y'all. Yeah. This album was brought to you by Mercedes of Long Beach, 2300 Spring Street in Signal Hill, California. Much love for the support. When you want to ride fly, check out Mercedes-Benz of Long Beach.